The views expressed on the Warren and Bradley Show are not necessarily those held by the hosts, Warren and Bradley, nor those of the proprietors of the website, warrenandbradley.com.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, fire!
Let's make some magic.
It is magic time, Warren. Welcome, everybody, to the Warren and Bradley Show. I am one of your hosts, Bradley.
And I'm the other host, Warren.
This is show number 8, I believe.
Is it? Oh, I guess so. Yeah, that makes sense.
I think I'm trying to keep track because
It seemed like too many, but then I think you're right.
Well, I think a lot of people would think it's not enough, Warren.
Yeah, I haven't met any of those people yet.
We have a huge docket of things to get through today. Actually, we're actually recording on a Tuesday evening because we weren't able to do our normal Sunday afternoon recording session because Warren went to beautiful Victoria, BC.
This is the Warren and Bradley Show after dark.
Are things going to get a little more risque?
Things might get a little bit more sexy.
Maybe we'll take a few calls if anyone needs some advice about their love life.
I did go to Victoria in beautiful British Columbia. I went on the ferry, and I went... What else happened? Oh, I had ketchup-flavored chips.
Ketchup-flavored chips.
Yes. Victoria's actually south of where we are.
Right,
because
it's on Vancouver Island.
It's on an island, so it dips way down there. So you go up to Canada, get on a boat, head back down south past where we live, and then on the tip of this island to get your, all-dressed chips, another flavor of chips that I ate.
So how was Victoria? I mean...
Yeah, it's fine. I mean, it's kind of a cutesy place. They got like a legislative building. They got an old motel or hotel that people think is fancy.
So is it all done up like this is a little fishing harbor?
No, it's bigger than that. But it's nice. I mean, it's on the tip of an island, and I think it's considered a nice place to live. So everything's kind of like nice, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's not that great.
People talk about going there all the time, and I've never gotten a satisfying answer as to why they go there.
I don't think there is one. You go to see the big buildings, and the legislative building is has lights on it at night.
Wow,
it's nice. I mean, it's a good nice site, and it's fine. And you can have at the fancy hotel, you can have high tea, like you're in England.
Were you guys staying at the fancy hotel?
No, we were staying at a less fancy hotel.
Isn't that the thing? The way it's supposed to be is that it's sort of like English. It has an English flair to it or something.
That's the whole. I think that's a Victoria vibe.
Okay. Are there any expats that live there, like actual English people?
I don't think they have a large English community or anything. Okay. They got a Chinatown. I had some good dim sum. But when you go to Canada, all you get a sense is that it's just like a cheap knockoff of America.
Yeah.
It's not... I mean, just everything kind of looks a little bit wrong, and the people act a little bit weirdly.
Yeah.
And the chips are flavored slightly differently. And you're just it's just not very satisfying being there. It's like being at an off-market or the generic version of America.
Yeah, I know we were sort of ragging on Canada the last time.
Is that the theme of the podcast?
Well, but just to add to that, I've never been to, the eastern seaboard in Canada, which apparently...
Oh, the Newfies.
Well, even just eastern Canada, like Toronto and places where there's supposedly more cosmopolitan. Well, I guess Vancouver's pretty cosmopolitan.
Oh, Vancouver's considered very cosmopolitan.
Yeah. But Vancouver always just seemed really obnoxious to me.
I think it's ugly.
Yeah.
I don't know why people... I mean, there's a big mountain behind it.
Yeah.
And there's there's water everywhere. I guess that's nice.
It's a major city, I guess, but...
No, I understand exactly what you're saying, because it's supposed to be this great treasure of the Pacific Northwest, and it's I don't know.
Well, I mean, you can look at it this way. The people who live in Canada are descended from the people who said, war, revolution, hell no.
Oh, boy.
And ran across the border.
Really, a lot of them are the descendants of people from China.
Well, there's
India.
that too. I'm talking about the white British type people.
Are you calling Canadians cowards?
I wouldn't go that far. Loyalists, I think, was the word at the time.
Well, they still have like a governor general that gets appointed to British Columbia. Like the Queen appoints this guy, and he goes over there, and he's sort of like, I don't think he has any real power, but he sort of presides over things.
That's what I never got as a child, because I think I thought as a kid that they were still technically part of the British Empire, which is not the case.
I feel like the 60s.
That's another great example too. We fought for independence. They eventually, basically England just kind of kicked them out of the house. Like, all right, you've been here. You're 38. You're living in the basement. You're not paying any rent. It's time for you to
you got to move on.
Get the fuck out of here.
I guess we could have just waited for that rather than have the big Revolutionary War.
Yeah, but I think that sort of has determined the entire course of our two different countries, if you think about it.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that I'm not saying that Canada isn't a fine place, but when was the last time you watched a great movie? I'm like, where was this made? Canada. Where was the last time you drove a car that was just kick ass? It wasn't made in Canada.
Yeah.
Well, actually, it might have been made in Canada by an American company.
Canada, yeah.
There, okay, my whole theory is falling apart. But in terms of innovation, being on the forefront of things,
Well, they do
comedy maybe. There's a lot of comedians.
Oh yeah. And they do have Timbits at Tim Hortons.
That's true.
And I love those. They're fun. You can't get Timbits in America anywhere.
Yeah. I remember they had pizza at McDonald's when I was in Hague.
Yeah, they do weird things like that.
Yeah, it was really gross.
It's things like that, It's like, oh, we're kind of in America, but the McDonald's has pizza, or the flavors of Crush are different.
Crush,
like the soda Crush.
Oh, I don't think I've ever had
like pear Crush or
just
something.
Orange Crush.
Yeah, like that kind of stuff. It's like the 7-Eleven we went to. They had like those little candies you can pick out for like 5 cents. You know what I mean? Which is you don't see in America anymore. So
that's kind of a shame, actually.
Yeah, that'd be great to bring back. But
so this trip that you took was supposed to be like a romantic getaway, or was it just kind of
no. I mean, maybe. I think we were just kind of going because it's a place to go. We've been trying to go
whose idea was Vancouver or Victoria?
I think it was sort of a consensus.
Really?
Yeah, because
who brought it up first?
I think she brought up the idea of a trip, and I was like, just like a short little trip.
Get away.
Yeah, yeah, and I'm just like, come on.
So, did you guys stay in a hotel?
Yes, we did stay at a hotel.
Get a little.
I'm not going to get into that.
No,
no,
I bet
I'm
you
not.
did then. Oh,
Celebrity Minute time.
Oh, are we doing Celebrity Minute?
Celebrity Minute on the Ward and Bradley Show.
This I didn't actually read anywhere. I was just told. Apparently,
so this is hearsay.
It all is in a sense. But Justin Timberlake engaged to Jessica Biel.
To Jessica Biel,
who he broke up with before, and I guess they're engaged now. But that's not the only. That's not it on him.
All right.
Also heard he's going to play Elton John in a movie.
I have heard the Elton John thing.
Oh, really? Okay.
Justin Timberlake, I do not mind as an actor.
No, I think he's fine.
Music-wise, whatever, I don't give a shit. Why is Jessica Biel a celebrity?
She was on Party of Five, I think.
Yeah, I know she's done things.
Yeah.
I know she's been in a few TV shows and a few movies. Most of the movies she's been in have been horrible. She is not a very good actress. She is not that attractive. These three things taken together equal should not be a celebrity. Should not be someone... You always see shit like on those obnoxious men's magazines like Maxim and things like that. Like Jessica Biel. It's like, oh, this is not... I'm not into this. But everybody... It's like everyone's been hypnotized and they love this woman.
Oh, she's fine. You should be going after the Kardashians or like...
well, no, that's...
Paris Hilton, if you're going to go after somebody who's never done anything.
That's a whole other category. Those are just idiot celebrities because, they've been on reality shows.
But she's an actress.
I'm talking about someone who is an actress. It's like, well, I was going to try to think of someone, but you don't know any of these people's names because they've been in shitty movies or, she should be one of those people.
Well, why is Jennifer Aniston famous?
Well, she was in Friends, which was a hugely popular show.
Party of Five is probably, if you analogous to Friends in the way that Jessica Biel is analogous to, like, Jennifer Aniston in popularity.
I don't know. I've never seen an episode of Party of Five.
Oh, it was a sad show. It was a Boxcar Kid situation again.
Yeah.
It was terrible.
I don't know. At least I think Jennifer Aniston backed it up a little bit with her movie career. She was actually in some comedies that people enjoyed. Even if she's not, she's not Meryl Streep, obviously, but she had some box office success. I don't know. Did you have more celebrity news or?
Let me see. Oh, Justin Bieber got a Jesus tattoo on his leg.
Wow. What's the pose?
I don't know.
What's Jesus
This
doing?
is another.
Is it like
this is more celebrity news that someone just told me.
Is it like the airbrush plate of Jesus with his hands in front of his face and the kind of?
I picture
aura
it
behind his
being
head?
like the one where he's kind of on the cross and kind of got the thorns on his head and he's looking away. But I don't know. That's pure speculation.
Because I was looking for a good picture I wanted to do for a poster for our show. Actually,
Oh, yeah?
The sacrilegious poster, but I couldn't find one.
Speaking of pictures, my passport picture makes me look so suspicious. And it's weird that they let me use it.
You just look like yourself.
Well, I'm not even looking at the camera. I'm like looking away in this like sly, like conspiratorial
Don't you have to be looking
way.
full at the camera?
Yes, you're supposed to, but
Yeah.
they put it through. And like we gave it to the guy at customs, and he was like, "I can't believe they let you use that picture." And I was like, "Yeah, I don't know. It's strange. Everyone who sees it is like, that's your passport picture."
Are you bearded in it?
No, but I kind of have a little bit of stubble, and I kind of am like, I'm like looking away and kind of like smirking, like I'm up to something. Which other people's passport photos don't look like that.
Yeah. When you submitted this picture, did you go to the post office or where'd you go?
I went to
get
like
the passport?
Walgreens.
Well, to actually apply for the passport?
No, to get my picture taken.
Yeah. So did you? When
They
you
took it to the post office. Well, I think you get the application materials there, and then you have to do some swear or something at the post office, and you turn it in.
Okay. So did you purposely submit this picture thinking, or
No, I never would have done that because I wanted a goddamn passport. I didn't want to get
Okay,
fucked
but you
up.
just didn't notice that you
I
looked
didn't
like a
even think
freak
about
mugger
it.
before.
And I assumed the person at Walgreens was expert enough at their job that they wouldn't let one go that was bad.
I once had a driver's license picture where it looked like I had just hit somebody in the face. It's like one of those videos if you see some news story when there's a suspect and the only picture they have of the suspect is from a surveillance camera when he turns, and it's like this horrible freeze frame that's kind of blurry and you can't quite make out his face because he's in motion, but he looks like he's he just killed somebody. That's kind of what happened in the picture because I think they surprised me with it and I sort of looked up at the last minute and I don't know. It was awful. And I had it for 5 years or however many
5 years
you have your license. Everywhere I took that thing, people, first of all, didn't believe that the people at the DMV would actually have like gone with that picture.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, we'll just take another one. No end to the comments whenever I had to show somebody that license.
And yet, half a decade, you're stuck with that.
Well, I think I finally ended up just like ripping it apart and then telling them that I lost my license and going in and getting a new one.
Why'd you rip it apart then? Why'd you just tell them you lost it?
Well, I didn't want anyone else to be the angry Brad
I guess
running
so.
around town.
You're like, I really did lose it.
I saw some guy who looked like you, but he looked pissed off.
I've got something great to say.
What's that, Warren?
Well, at work, we have this coffee maker. Mm-hmm. And somebody made some coffee a couple weeks ago, and they were like, I got really nauseous, and it made me sick. And I threw up.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that could have had nothing to do with the coffee. Happened to, like, 2 other people.
The same day?
No, like, later on. People would rarely use the coffee maker. They'd make coffee, and they'd be like, oh, it made me sick. I'm like...
And it took
Then-
your mind to put these disparate clues together and
well,
come
this
up
is
with
the thing, right? People are putting it together, but still, they're
We're
like...
still making coffee.
We'll try it again.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, we need to stop. You know what I mean? If people they're like, it's probably not the machine. And I'm like, well, why is everyone getting sick then? And I took the machine and I threw it away. People were like, that's a bold move.
That was pretty rash, yeah.
It was pretty rash, but at the same time, it needed to be done.
Right.
And then today I come into work, and there's this little miniature coffee machine sitting there. Mm-hmm. Like a regular coffee maker, but like miniature. And someone said they found it
vomited.
under a cabinet somewhere.
Okay.
Someone had put it there. And so now we have coffee again. A smaller container, but I don't think anyone's getting sick.
I can't drink coffee anywhere anymore, really, because I make coffee at home, and it's amazing. Mm-hmm. It's really good.
It is very good. I've had it, yeah.
And I go even to a coffee shop, and I just like drip coffee. I don't like the fancy coffees. It tastes like shit. Because I get fresh fresh beans, I ground them fresh at the time, and I make it in a French press. You can't beat it. It's amazing. And so now I can't get coffee anywhere else, basically. It's just...
This is true of everything in life, though, right?
Yeah, not everything.
No, if having refined tastes, way overrated. Having, like, very lowbrow tastes...
Well, you're right.
Amazing.
Yeah. I thought maybe you were talking about if you... Doing things yourself is always better.
Doing things yourself is great. Thing is...
But I was going to say, if I tried to cook myself an amazing steak dinner, wouldn't taste as good as if I had gone to a very nice restaurant and gotten.
But if you've ever gone to a nice restaurant, only cooked yourself your shitty steak dinner, it would taste just as good to you.
Exactly. So you're talking more about the expectations. You're right. If all you were used to was, when I was a little kid, I used to go to my grandpa and grandma's house, they had the Kraft Singles cheese. All
Oh
the
God,
time.
I love it.
Loved it.
Yeah.
I'm so obsessed with it.
Yeah, it's great.
Ritz crackers, Kraft single cheese.
Yeah.
I'd make these little double-decker sandwiches. It was amazing. I was so happy with that. Now, I mean, I might still eat it if somebody put it in front of me. But the fact that I know that there's something else that's better, it does kind of ruin the little joys that I once experienced.
Yeah, I only used to get those Kraft singles when I was camping, and it was a real big treat.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird. Processed cheese in a little plastic wrapper could bring so much joy.
There's a certain texture, a certain
Texture to it, yeah, and it has a certain weird flavor to it.
It's not cheese.
No, it's
really.
just like something that's sort of mimicking cheese.
Well, it's like when I was a little kid, I used to love the taste of purple.
Oh yeah,
I didn't realize that it was supposed to be grape
because it doesn't taste like
grape.
No.
It's not grape. I just thought of it as purple. It tastes
Yeah.
like purple. Like red tasted like red. I guess cherry, supposedly. Maybe,
Yeah.
maybe strawberry. Or strawberry tasted like pink. Pink tasted
strawberry,
like strawberry.
red, cherry.
Yeah. And so I would always talk about how I wanted purple. Give me something
purple,
flavored. And it wasn't until, well, I mean, it didn't
A couple
take
years
that long.
ago. Yeah.
Until I finally realized, that was supposed to be grape. And then I think this was a conversation that didn't make it onto the podcast, but we were talking about the peanut butter cups once.
Oh yeah.
And you're going off about how you wanted the gourmet peanut butter cup, where it was like fancy
Sorry, you
chocolate.
missed that, aren't you?
Yeah, it was gold. It was the fancy chocolate where you'd pour like real peanut butter inside
Yeah.
there. Like, yeah, that might be good, but I used to be happy with the purple, and
Yeah.
now I'm not happy with the purple anymore. Now if I'm having something grape flavored, it has to taste like grape. So if you start eating the fancy peanut butter cups all the time, then the crummy, like, salty goo, it's just not going to do it for you anymore.
This is the thing about life.
Tell me about life.
You keep pushing it and keep thinking things are going to get better. Then the thing that you thought was going to make things better happens.
It doesn't.
And you
make
keep
any
pushing
better.
it some more.
Yeah.
You got to be happy with your grape. You got to be happy with your slice of Kraft single. That's wisdom, my friend.
But by the same token, would anything ever get done? Would anything ever change?
Does
would anyone
it need
ever
to get
reach
done?
for that unattainable something? Would science have progressed? Would anything have happened? We're like, we've got this iron. That's fine.
But do you think you're any happier now than if you lived in the South Pacific on an island and just ate coconuts all day and ran around?
Well, I wouldn't have known if I didn't know of any other life. Then no.
Exactly. What's the point? What are we doing here?
Well, that's a good question, Warren.
This
I don't
is
know
a
if
very...
anybody has the answer to
I know.
that.
I'm blowing people's minds right now. This could start
Oh
a
my
revolution. Stop it all. Stop doing what you're doing. Stop making it so much trouble and just relax, everybody. Don't worry about it. Be happy with the small things. You'll be happier all the way around. Yeah. I need a better line to wrap that up
Yeah.
with.
So this is your book. This is your self-help book. Just stop it. Stop helping
Stop
yourself.
it. Stop it. Stop it. Yeah.
Okay, well, what about just a love of learning and a love of experimentation leading to new things? Like, you're talking about this is only a bad thing if it's because you're dissatisfied and you're trying to improve your lot.
Yeah.
So you're saying you should never try to improve anything.
No. I think it has to do with, I think you can still, it's possible to, stretch your horizons.
Uh-huh.
At the same time, not, strip all joy out of life.
Okay. So you want a nice balance.
Can
between
you
the
do
two.
that? Do you think it's possible?
I think it's possible. I think it's possible to appreciate what you have, but also yearn for something more, but without locking all your potential happiness into the fact of whether or not you attain that thing.
Yeah.
You know? It's a happy medium.
It's a trick. Life is a funny thing.
So we have figured out life.
We have and we haven't.
Well, we have.
Oh, we have.
Yeah.
Okay, well, as long as you're sure.
There you go. I had a fun experience yesterday. Came home for lunch. I do that occasionally. I guess save a little money, make some food at home.
Oh, why not?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
You know, maybe make a little coffee, catch up on some podcasts and things like that.
Sure.
Come up to my apartment door. It is open, which happens occasionally because if I don't lock it, it doesn't latch properly, and
It just
sometimes
swings
it swings
open?
Yeah,
Oh.
that's why I always lock it. Whenever you come in my apartment, I lock it behind you. It's not that I'm going to
Yeah.
put you in a sack and rape you. It's
I always
because-
assume that's going to
yeah,
happen.
I can tell by the look on your face. No, it's because it doesn't latch, and so
Yeah.
sometimes I forget to lock it. Sometimes it's open, so I'm like, okay, my apartment's open. Annoying. How long has this been going on? Have people been wandering in and out of my unit? Go into my bedroom. Every bit of furniture I have in my bedroom is stacked against the wall, covered in plastic. There's a dude with his ass crack showing, bent over a toolbox, and another guy in a ladder with half his body disappearing into a giant hole in my ceiling. It's like, oh, okay, there we go.
That's not what you want to find.
So the relaxing lunch, that's over.
Yeah, it's done.
Whatever. Okay, let's see what's going on here. Apparently there was some sort of horrendous plumbing emergency where we have radiators. It's an old building. Yada, yada, yada. They had to fix it or else there wouldn't be heat. They tried to call me. Didn't have my phone on. So basically, can't be helped, whatever. You live in an apartment. But the funny thing is that it really bugged me. And not the fact that they were doing the work, but just the fact that they were there without me knowing they were there.
Yeah.
And I was sort of trying to figure out exactly why I felt this way. Because I just have this weird, I don't want people...
It's your personal space.
It's my personal space, but then what are they going to find? What's the problem? It's not like they're going to interrupt my giant grow operation or find the hooker in my closet or my gimp under my bed.
They're not looking in the closet or under your bed.
No,
so
it's not a problem.
Things.
But then I realized I was sort of cataloging as I looked around. For instance, on my desk, which was now draped in plastic and shoved up against the wall, there was a bottle of hand lotion.
That's suspicious.
Suspicious. And also a roll of toilet paper.
Also suspicious.
Now, I know that if you're a workman dude coming into some single guy's apartment, you find near the computer a bottle of lotion and a roll of toilet paper. First thought in your mind is...
You have very dry hands.
And you have allergies.
Which
is actually exactly what the case is.
Okay.
But other people
might have other suspicions.
That maybe this is you're whacking the Kraken while you're watching a little porn. And that's...
I suppose, yeah.
That's the first thing that came to my mind as I saw this. It's like, oh man, they saw that. I have a little teddy bear on my bed. It's not that big a deal. I've had him since I was 4. So he's always there. I don't spoon him that often when I'm sleeping. Nothing big, but if I knew that the workmen were coming over to my house, probably would have tucked old Albert under the blankets so they didn't have to say hello to him. Probably would have taken the bottle of lotion and put it away.
But does it matter if these men know this?
It really doesn't. But it's that's what I was trying to decipher. It's I don't like this. I don't like that they've seen these things. There was also a picture that I had that I was just doodling this weird shit that was on my desk that, I don't know. It was fine. It was
Women
just
with knives in their eyes and stuff.
No. Well, no. It was fine. It wasn't anything weird necessarily, but I just didn't like... And because I'm the kind of person, maybe it's because I'm reading into my own mentality, where if I go into someone's house... I'm trying to think of instances where I've actually done this. Maybe I haven't really done this, but I have a propensity to want to do it. I'd like to rifle through people's drawers and things like that. I think that would be fun.
Like the medicine cabinet? You'd like to go
medicine cabinet, the kitchen junk drawer, what kind of shit's in there, things like that. And I don't know, I just felt it wasn't violated because there wasn't really anything to violate. It was just, I just didn't like it.
Well, I feel the opposite way of you about rifling through people's stuff. I don't want to know.
Well, I guess to me, I don't care about my friends. That doesn't worry me. Or not worry me, but I just don't really have any compulsion. But in a complete stranger's house, I might be kind of looking around a little bit because you can infer a lot of things by whatever random shit is laying around.
Yeah,
and
your infantile beat-off machine is what's true about you.
Well, and it could be the complete wrong thing, but it's still kind of fun to make these inferences.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm sure they had a great time as they were working
I'm sure
away.
they did.
Just thinking about what you did at night.
Oh my God, it was a disaster. I had a giant hole in my ceiling. They fixed whatever plumbing problem there was, and then talked to the maintenance guys, okay, giant hole, what's going on with that? I'm maybe next week. And you can look up and see daylight from the apartment
That's not a good
above
sign.
me through the hole, and I wasn't a fan of that. So I told him that I would fix it myself, thinking maybe they'll take a little off the rent next time too. Got some sheetrock up there, drilled it in. When you're making a new house and you sheetrock, shit gets everywhere. When you're in a little apartment, oh my God. I was eating a roll this morning that was wrapped in plastic on my kitchen counter. Put it to my mouth, was finely powdered with sheetrock. Everything in this apartment was covered in a fine layer of sheetrock.
Why do you have a roll?
I like rolls.
You buy rolls?
Yeah, sometimes. A little dinner roll.
Really?
Yeah.
That's strange.
Why is that strange?
I feel like if you're going to a family gathering and like they have rolls there with like for like a holiday or something, but just go to the store as a single man and buy rolls is weird.
Is that weird?
Oh, I'm pretty sure it's weird.
But don't you always have a little side of bread with whatever you're eating, right?
Not necessarily.
Well, not if you're having Chinese food or something. But
what do you do? Are you making yourself like green bean casserole and having a roll with it?
I bought them because I was making pork chops the other day. So I had some dinner rolls, like those puffy potato rolls.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
I've never purchased those in my life. The only time I've ever had those is going to my grandma's house.
Yeah, they're good.
Well, I think they're good. I enjoy them. I just can't imagine going to the store, picking up some rolls.
Well, they're cheap too. It was like $1.99 for 12 big puffy rolls.
Oh, that's a good price.
Yeah. And then you
Go
just
get some rolls.
throw those in the cupboard, and then they're great for a breakfast. You know, you're on the go, grab one of those. You shove the whole thing in your mouth at once, and then it just kind of melts.
You don't do that.
Sometimes, if I'm in a
Really?
hurry. Yeah.
So you just eat the roll.
Yeah.
You don't put anything on it.
I don't, if it's dinner, I will. But one thing people might not know about me is that food is just ballast for me for the most part.
You'll just stick a roll in there and get on the move.
Yeah, I know that I have to put something in my stomach, so I'll just shove something in my stomach.
Yeah.
Well, I shove it in my mouth, and it goes into my stomach
Eventually, we
Yeah.
hope. You're a strange man.
I'm shocked that you're so surprised by the roll thing.
I'm weirded out by it.
don't
I
know.
can't even think of anything that's analogous. So it'd be like if you had a bunch of doilies around here. You're like, well, I always have doilies.
That's not
Oh,
analogous.
it's the same thing. It's the same thing. It's like, oh, I have this decorative doily on my desk. I'm like, why? It's like, well, because don't
People
people have
do.
doilies in their desk? I'm like, yeah, old people have doilies on their
Do you
desks.
think that rolls are just for old people? At family
Rolls are for
gatherings?
old people, and rolls are something that old people give young people when old people are hanging out with young people. But it's not something a young person goes and buys.
I don't know. It's a food stuff. It's okay. What do I normally buy? I buy shitty frozen burritos.
Yeah,
and
that's
eat
more
those.
normal.
That's normal
Yeah.
for like a single guy. Cracker snacks, as I like to call them.
What's that?
It's those. Oh my god, they're those Keebler. They're like an orange cracker with this weird peanut butter shit squozen.
Oh,
squeezed
that
in
stuff?
between them.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are good.
You buy those?
Yeah,
Oh, that's weird too. That's something you like give little kids to eat with their lunch.
exactly.
That's not something a man in his 30s goes to the store and buys, like rolls and
You
those
do
weird
when they're-
orange crackers.
They're like $3 for $5 for like a 12-pack of them. And then that's what you do. You have your dinner. You make a frozen burrito.
Yeah.
You get some orange cracker snacks and a roll.
Oh no! Really? That's what
Yeah.
you put on the plate?
Yeah. So
A
it's
roll
like a meal.
and like
It's like it feels
Keebler
like
crackers and like a frozen burrito.
it feels like an actual meal. Because if it were just a frozen burrito, even me, I'd consider that a little pathetic and sad.
But can you
'Cause I'm
imagine
sitting
serving
alone in my
someone
apartment.
a plate that has like orange crackers and a roll and like a frozen burrito on it?
I will say that on the very rare occasion that someone comes and dines with me, usually I'll prepare something. It'll be like pasta and something.
Yeah, yeah.
But when it's just me, I don't give a shit. But even saying I don't give a shit, there is still part of me that's like, that's not a meal, just a frozen burrito sitting alone in my bathrobe with a Dr. Pepper.
No, you need
I have
a
to have a
little
little side.
We should have a little bit of
dish.
maybe a side salad or some vegetables.
no.
Not orange crackers.
Okay, you buy a thing of orange crackers. You put them in your cupboard. They're individually wrapped in plastic.
Yeah, I know, you
Probably
just put 'em in
preserved
lunches.
with some kind of strange chemical.
Yeah.
They'll last for months. I'll have those forever. You buy a head of lettuce 3 days, and it's all molding and slimy in your fridge.
Well, this isn't good for you at all. This is why you should eat more lentils.
Oh, God, the lentils thing.
We have a friend so he's pressuring Brad to eat more
What
lentils.
was the lentils thing supposed to be? It's like antioxidant. Or
It'll make you look younger.
Yeah.
She also used to chastise me about not having as many bowel movements as I should.
How does she know how many bowel movements you have
I
every
don't know
day?
why it came up. Why did that come up? I must have been drinking.
By the way, I shat twice today. Is that how it came up?
I think we were talking about it, and she's making the claim that you're supposed to do it like immediately after every meal.
Shouldn't it take a while for it to
Oh,
digest?
yeah. I think so.
I always thought maybe you've got one on deck, you eat the meal, and then that's kind of like knocking on the door, and so it's like, all right, we got to vacate and let the new guy in.
This is the weird thing about this. Oh, you have the crotch hole open.
Warren almost saw my penis.
I
everybody.
don't want to see that.
That was another previous podcast,
Yeah.
harkening back. I am wearing my velveteen house pants at the moment with an open fly. And just happened to look down, and there he was. So that's all squared away now.
You
Don't
almost
worry.
completely match in your outfit right now.
Yeah.
That's really something.
It's actually pretty good. It's very comfortable.
You look comfortable.
What were we talking about before my penis emerged?
Oh, we were talking about bowel movements. Oh, this is what I wonder about with bowel movements. Like, we all have theories we've come up with about these.
How they're supposed to work.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I eat my food and then I poop it out instantly, is her theory.
Or there's people like, oh, you drink your coffee and your cigarette in the morning, that makes you shit. Or
Yeah.
like all this, yeah.
We really don't know. You know what I mean? Science knows.
Well, somebody knows.
The scientists know.
We don't.
We have these bodies. We don't know. We don't know what's going on in there.
Not really.
It's just, we know there's a big round thing that the food goes in and acids burn it.
A big round thing.
And then there's like intestines. There's a small intestine, a large intestine. How are they different? I don't know.
Well, I do know one thing.
What do you know?
That I've learned recently. This might be too...
Oh, do it.
All right. A few days ago, I had some questionable ham.
Oh, yeah.
That was... it was basically, we had ham for Christmas dinner at my mom's house. Or no, this was at my dad's house. And so they had a big, like, ham ass left in their fridge. And I was over there, and it had been... I don't know how long ham is supposed to be good for, but I figured, it's within... a month or so. Like, I don't know.
That's a dangerous game you're playing there.
Well, and it was kind of whitish looking.
Nah, it's not good.
Kind of slimy, but it didn't smell bad. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to eat this ham. I ate a big, noshed on this giant thing of ham.
Yeah.
Felt fine, and then it was like 1 or 2 days later, started having some kind of stomach sort of problems. I don't know that this was directly related to the ham, but it's the only thing I could think of.
Seems like it might be that.
I wasn't sick, but I had some bowel problems. Yeah. Basically, the waste that I was producing was green.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, green? What the hell does that mean? And so I looked online, and apparently the bile in your stomach and in your small or large intestine is green, and that's what's, breaking down the food. And apparently if you have green shit, it means that your intestines haven't had enough time to process the food.
It's trying to rush it out.
It's just rushed out. And so that made me think, okay, that must have been the ham, because
it's the
it was
express
like,
train with ham.
Okay, expired ham, get it the fuck out of here right now.
Yeah. Seems like it would have got out faster than that.
So then I actually found, this is something I should have looked up and have ready for the podcast, but I didn't know we'd be talking about shit.
Well.
There is a handy color chart, which shows you different colors, textures, and shapes of stool, and how healthy or unhealthy each of these colors, textures, and shapes may or may not be.
Really? Fascinating.
I just found it amusing that someone went to the trouble of actually, like, illustrating the shit, the different colors, the different textures.
Well, if you're a gastroenterologist, you're going to need that information.
And is that what you're doing all day? Is you're looking at shit?
No, you're sticking that camera up people's ass.
And looking at shit?
Well, I think you see the little polyps on the side, and you're like, oh, you're in trouble.
I guess they try to get you to clean it out first.
Oh yeah, you drink all this liquid,
right?
And you drink and nothing else, and that just like bud out. You've got nothing in there.
The enema, yeah. You ever done one of those?
A few years ago.
Just for the hell of it, or was
just
it
for the hell of it? Because for some reason people were talking about them, and I was like, oh.
Did you go buy like a home?
Yeah. I went to the grocery store and I got it.
Yeah.
And I was like, here we go. And I don't think I did it right. It was a real mess.
What do you mean you didn't do it right?
Know. There's liquid. There's water going everywhere. I was like, this isn't right. I just threw it away. I was like, why am I doing this in the first place?
You didn't shove it in your ass first before you started squeezing it?
I think I did, but maybe not far enough. I don't know. It didn't work. And I was like, as I was doing it, I was like, is this really what it's come to? This is what I'm doing for entertainment? Because somebody mentioned it, and I was like, I've never done that, so I'll go get one. Am I that decadent that I need to do that?
You have nothing else to worry about.
No.
I love thinking of that as decadence. I guess it is, really. That's the definition of decadence.
If I really had things to worry about, I'd be dealing with them, right?
Well, there aren't a lot of starving people in Africa, like, see how this enema works.
Oh, you got things to deal with. I'm just like...
Well, they have dysentery anyway. They don't have to worry about
enemas. The weird thing, I see enemas at work sometimes.
Yeah.
They always have the same drawing of the guy, like, kind of like laying down, sticking his butt out in this, like, sad, pathetic way. Kind
Presenting
of like,
is what they've done.
Looking back. And it's always... There's something about it that really bothers me. I don't know what it is, but he always looks so weird. And
well, I've never had to have one. I've never had horrible constipation or anything like that. In case anyone wants to know. Just to let you know.
And if you have questions like that, you can always write in.
When was the last time you were constipated? But as a child, my mom and dad always had their bathroom. They had the master bedroom and their bathroom. occasionally, I don't know, for whatever reason, our bathroom was occupied, so I'd go into my mom and dad's, and I was always really interested in this because there'd be like, you know, razors and things that I didn't have any access to or didn't need. There'd be like, I found a bottle of Nair once.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, ooh, hair remover. And so I put some on my leg and like left it on there way too long, and I got this horrible chemical burn all over my leg, and my hair all came out. It was ridiculous. But it was like I was in a chemistry lab or something. So I was always excited when I went in there. One day, looking under the sink, I found a little home enema. Like, oh, what's this? Never heard of this before. I think I was even so young that I could read, but I didn't quite have an understanding of what it was saying was going to happen. But they did have the illustration of the little guy.
Yeah, it's always the same picture.
Yeah, he had his ass up in the air. They showed the bottle being inserted into the ass. It's like, I wonder what that's about. And so I did it. I went down, shoved it in my ass. I think it took about a good 30 seconds and nearly shat all over the bathroom. So there we go. I had a result. Wasn't really pleasurable or exciting in any way, but it was an interesting experience. But then I had the problem of the empty enema bottle.
Yeah, it's always an issue.
And, you know, the next time my mom and dad needs to clean out. So I unscrewed it and filled it with water and put it back in the box.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you ever hear about this again?
No. Well, what are they going to say? Were you using my enema?
Do you think they used it?
I don't know.
That'd be weird, wouldn't it?
Would it still do anything?
I think as a little kid, you'd be like, this looks like the way it was when I got it, but it would be like so mangled and weird looking.
I was pretty good. Because I used to, before I ever really drank, I used to take wine and then I would fill it enough with water.
Then you never got caught doing that?
No. God, this wine is weak, and Jesus, this enema is not kicking in. Yeah.
I guess you can just keep adulterating alcohol like that. And if you do it gradually enough, no one notices.
Yeah. Well, and they'd open a bottle of wine, and then it would be in the fridge for like 3 weeks, you know.
Yeah.
By that point, it's vinegar anyway, so who knows if they were even trying to drink it. And my mom, you give her one glass of wine, and she'd be like, "Oh, I'm tipsy." Oh, Jesus. She's like, Jesus. She's like this 80-year-old lush stumbling around the house.
Next time on the Ward and Bradley Show.
Let's make a hole in the gut, pull out as much intestine as you can, and then use it as sort of like silly string. And
Don't get a teardrop tattoo. Because if someone finds out you're doing that, you didn't kill anybody, they'll like kill you or beat you up.
or I want a normal fucking muffin, and everyone looks at me like I'm crazy.
Well, right now you're like
I
slamming
am
your
angry.
hand down
I
and
am
you're
very
yelling.
angry about it. Muffin Man.
Have you seen the Muffin Man?
That was the name of the song,
Muffin
right?
Man, the Muffin. I feel like Have You Seen the Muffin Man is something that I've heard many times in my life, but I've never thought about who the Muffin Man was. Is he a man that makes muffins?
Oh, you have a beard. I want to have sex with you. It's like, oh, nice beard. Get away.
The Warren and Bradley Show. Available on iTunes and at warrenandbradley.com.